Good afternoon and welcome to the cruise, Amigos Live on this, the 13th day of April 2023. I'm coming to you from Forest, Virginia. And over there, get my finger back, that would be Amigo John. He's a Nanook of the Northing up in Crookston, Minnesota. And then down below us, that's Amigo. Oh, he's missing again. There is no Amigo Martin today. He's the duck is Martin. Okay. Amigo Martin is playing rugby ball. He's the ball that they're kicking around in the middle of the pitch. Do you have a pitch in rugby? Or is that a different game?
Computer.
What's
is
the
there
pitch?
A pitch in the game rugby?
From kidsportsactivities.com. Rugby is played on a field called a pitch that's about the size of a soccer field.
Rugby's played on a field called a pitch.
Okay, see, I was right. I knew something about rugby.
I knew you did.
I know it's a ball. I have no idea what the ball looks like. And I know it's played on a pitch. That's my rugby knowledge all wrapped up. Anyway, welcome to the cruise, Amigo. So how's things in Crookston, Minnesota?
Well, it's the crazy time of the year because on the one hand, it's still freezing at night, but it's getting, 50 degrees, hot sun. The snow is like melting. It's running down in Fargo. So you know that about 30 miles south of Fargo, the Red River of the North begins in a small little lake. And it winds itself from down there all the way up to Winnipeg, and then about 50 miles north, it gets into Lake Winnipeg, which is a giant body of water. And then from there, the river continues on up to...
That would be a phone.
Yeah, how do I send it away? Swipe up to answer. Swipe. Okay. And then ultimately ends up in Hudson Bay. And just a little funny aside to that, back in 1997, when we had the big major flood in Grand Forks, which is on the river's pretty big by the time it gets to Grand Forks. In Fargo, they're talking about 7 feet regular, 15 feet flood. In Grand Forks, we're talking about 40 feet regular, 60-foot flood. But anyway, right by the shores of the beautiful Red River of the North was a former grocery store. Imagine a little tiny grocery store that used to have those big glass windows in the front.
Yeah.
But it had been converted into a porn store about 25 years before.
A grocery
now,
porn
when
store.
the river came up, of course, and the pressure of the water, it was able to push through those single pane glass, big old 50-year-old grocery store windows without any pushback at all, right?
Yeah, and some things floated out.
And unbeknownst to most everybody, a significant number of the products that were for sale in this place are lighter than water. I don't know how else to say it. And do you know that things from the dirty bookstore it was called the plain brown wrapper at the time, because you get it in your plain brown wrapper, were found all the way up to Hudson Bay, Canada. They had literally floated from Grand Forks all through the river, across the border.
Hudson Bay.
Yeah,
we could write a story about that. Speaking of plain brown wrappers, hi, Emily's with us. No, that's interesting. But did you ever build a porn store back in Grand Forks?
Oh no, it literally was back in business in 2 weeks. They boarded up the windows, but they've never turned them back into glass. It's like boarded up. It's like got fake
closed in now.
Mastic on it now where the windows were.
Hide inside and do.
So if it happens again, probably it's not gonna. There ain't gonna be a lot of free stuff. So. And that was back in the day yet when it was videotape. You went there to rent a couple of videos, and so, but the videotapes were all ruined. They all got ruined.
They got wet and warped.
Yeah.
The videotapes warp? I don't know. I never watched videotapes.
No, but the acetate that they're made of can't take water at all.
What?
Acetate.
Oh, acetate. I thought you were.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about some of the models.
Not making a joke,
Okay.
It's
If
not.
Emily wants to know, is your snow gone?
No, no, no. The snow is gone in the flat spaces, but like the ditches are full of snow. Where they piled it up as they moved the snow off parking lots and stuff. That's 10, 15 feet high. In Fargo, they were building, they do it every year. They call it Mount Fargo. And they have one place where they keep, pushing it up higher. It got to 70 feet this year. There's a 70-foot mountain of
70
compressed
feet
snow.
of snow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that might not melt for a while.
No, and that's where the house we have in town where my dad lived with my sister in the winter, back after Mom passed. But that was one of their bets, because right next to them was the Methodist church, and they had a big parking lot, and they always pushed the snow into a 20-foot pretty heavy pile of snow, rocks and dirt and stuff in it. And that Dad and Jane always had a bet on when it would disappear, because it'd be 2-3 weeks after you would think that summer was here, and here's yet this 4 feet, 3 feet, 2 feet. Oh, there's still an ice bucket out, and finally there was an ice cube, and then it was gone. But yeah, they would bet on that every year. That was a big thing they did.
All right, now you being a farmer up there in Minnesota, when are you going to put the new granddaughter out on the tractor and start planting stuff?
Well, and I know you're asking that both as a joke and maybe a little bit seriously. And the serious side of the thing is, when I was a kid, but of course, remember, trucks had a single rear axle. The box was maybe 15 feet long and had a single axle and a 6-cylinder engine. But we started to drive trucks when we could reach the pedals.
Yeah.
And for me, that was like, I was going to turn 8. It was in the summer of my 7th year, just before I turned 8. And then I was on the tractor right after that. And that was regular. I mean, and the irony was those tractors back then had no safety or security. I mean, you sat on this seat that had a big spring on it, and you held on to because there was nothing to hold you in place.
Yeah.
Except that at all the farm shows and the winter shows, they'd have one of those tractor seats, and someone had mounted a ball from a boat hitch. They had put that right in the center of the seat. The joke was that was, then yeah, you'd sit on it so it would hold you on the seat. But nowadays, of course, and here it is again.
You can answer the phone, John.
No,
I can talk.
I can talk to them later. I mean, I'm here with you, and I like this. Okay. So, but nowadays, of course, you got to kind of be a full-sized human being to operate. We call them quad tracks, and they're the tractors that you see that instead of a wheel have a track in each of 4 places. Where you'd think there'd be a wheel, instead there's this quad track triangle thing that runs. And the reason for that is, so like, a round tire, only the bottom part of the roundness is on the dirt, so it pushes in quite heavily. But on our tracks, the track, and I don't have enough picture here for you, but the track is about 2.5 feet pwide and 7 feet long. So that's like 15 times more pressure, putting space to put down. And so it doesn't, compress the soil. So there's a good chance that whatever's planted behind it can grow. And that's why we have these quad tracks. But the interesting things about we don't own any quad tracks. Nobody that's farming like we do owns them. You rent them now. You don't buy them, you rent them. And the last time that they did a lease on them, they leased 3 of them for 3 years. And as part of that, you lease, in the lease is how many hours. Like if you're going to use it 500 hours in 3 years, the lease is one price, 2,000 hours, 5,000. I think that they get 2,000 hours on each one. But the lease on 3 tractors was over $450,000.
Holy cow.
And now, I have no idea what it would be now. This was 2-3 years ago. But then on top of that, today, in today's diesel fuel at $4 a gallon price, it's $1,000 a day to run the tractor. Takes about 250 gallons for a man to be in it for a typical day's work. Goes through 250 gallons, $4 a gallon. It's $1,000 a day per tractor. in fuel. So the next time you complain about high prices of food, and I get it, food is exorbitantly expensive compared to what it used to be, but understand for us to, and we are efficient. We are some of the most efficient farmers in the world here in the Red River Valley. You know, we do it right. We use the least amount of pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, but to do it right and to get it to you the most inexpensively and cheaply still causes a loaf of bread to be what, $2-3 now. I remember, do you remember? I'll bet you'll know more than me. I remember my mom picking me up from school on a Wednesday because I had piano lessons. And after the piano lessons, we'd go to the bakery because bread was $5 for $1.
Yeah.
Do you remember those days? One day a week, the bread was on sale, and it was 5 loaves for $1. And she, by gosh, Mom got through the summer and making lunches and feeding the men. You know.
Speaking of bread, my first radio gig, television gig, I had one commercial that they hired me to do. And all I had to say at the end of the commercial was Rainbow, the extra care loaf.
Extra care.
Rainbow bread.
Wow.
Which was a regional bread in the southeastern part of the country back in the, that would have been in the late 60s. Yeah, late 60s, 68, 69, somewhere along in there. Was when I first got started in broadcasting.
And was it rainbow? I mean, did it have a multicolored
Yeah,
look
it
to it?
had a little rainbow on the package.
Okay.
And I mean, but it's just plain old regular bread. You know? Just a regular sandwich loaf.
You're not going to believe what I have to share with our group. You're just not going to, you're not going to believe this.
Okay.
Hang on a second.
You pulled up rainbow bread.
I got to figure, but I always got to figure out how to make it work. Present of not a video. Share screen. Yeah. Okay. Dallas Jingle Singers share. All right. Are you ready? And now let's see that if we can hear it.
Patty cake, patty cake, patty cake, patty cake, march along with rainbow bread. You can't go wrong. Good bread, fresh bread, first in the store. Rainbow bread, rainbow bread, patty cake.
Patty cake, rainbow bread, first in the store. I thought you would like that.
That was the outfit.
That was it. Yeah.
And on other commercials, and I'd come on and do the tagline.
And you did the tag, rainbow bread.
Rainbow, the extra care loaf. And they sent me to Cincinnati to tape the damn thing. And we did like 700 takes of Rainbow, the extra care loaf. I got royalties on that forever.
And now,
they did.
Now you can do it in your closet in your house. You just take a closet, put a mic in there with your computer, and you do it from home, send it in. But my first commercial that I remember 2 commercials being a big success. But one of the most successful commercials I ever did, the Dairy Queens up here, are seasonal. They're not open year round. They opened a couple weeks ago. But anyway, when the one in Crookston opened, and I had my 100,000 watt FM station in Crookston, I wrote an ad, and it was 2 little kids swinging, and they were, they were swinging, and the little boy goes, "I know a secret, I know a secret." No, the girl says, Betty Sue goes, "I know a secret, I know a secret." And little boy says, "You better tell me your secret." "I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. If you don't tell me, I'm going to pull your hair. I'm not going to tell you." The Dairy Queen's open. That was the secret, you see. And they had cars. It was before they had a drive-through. It was like a drive up, and then you went to the window. And the parking lot was full, and the cars were down the street waiting because everybody at the same moment started hearing that commercial and went to the Dairy Queen. It was one of the best commercials I've ever done.
Yeah, I like to go to Dairy Queen every now and then.
Oh God, yeah. I stay away because of my eating habits, but I sure love it. And It's a high quality product in my mind. I think it's a real high quality, honorable place. And you know who owns it, by the way? Do you know who owns the Dairy Queen chain?
Ooh. No.
Big time investor, honorable guy. Your favorite thing to do on a cruise ship?
Drink.
Warren Buffett.
Really?
Warren, he's had the Dairy Queen in his portfolio for Berkshire Hathaway for 40, 50 years. Yep.
Wow.
He has See's
did not
Candy.
know.
If you've seen the See's Candy little stores,
Yeah.
he owns them. But he's owned Dairy Queen since the original family sold it. They're from St. Paul, Minnesota. But yeah.
All right. So most of you guys know that sometimes John and I sit around and BS.
Well, what do you do when you got two old grizzly bears that have, we've
sit
been
here
through
and we're killing 40 minutes until the damn show starts.
But we've been through good times and we've been through bad times. We've been
Ronnie
through crazy
says
times.
Joanna will be on the mower tractor with me. There we go. We'll get it started right. Started with the little one, or in the kiddie swimming pool watching me. Well, we can deal with that too, Ronnie.
And so Chillie, it's Johanna.
Oh, it is Johanna?
Because in
y'all
Germany, the name John is Johann.
Yeah.
And Johanna is the feminine of the.
So I have to speak German now when I'm talking.
No. But she will be fluent in German too. But it's Johanna.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
I was not aware of that. So I learned something. See, I learned something today. I also learned that John's a poetess. A poeter.
No, not a poeter would be okay, but not a poetess.
One of those things.
I am. I wrote you a poem. I wrote an ode to Chillie.
Uh-huh.
Just thinking back of all of your comments and all of your experiences, especially in the 35, 40 years that you've been cruising. And I know that because you also had a service industry. I mean, you were the waffle cone king of the Westbury, Connecticut syndicate or whatever. The funnel crowd. And so, you know what it's like to work. And so you respect the people who serve us now when we're on cruise ships. So I wrote an ode to you. Would you like to hear it?
Yes, I would love to hear the ode.
All right. So this is called Ode to Chillie, Chillie. Chillie, the biggest tipper in the bar, always leaves a generous tip in the jar. He knows how hard the bartenders work, and he's always ready to show his worth. With a smile and a friendly word, he brightens up the room like a hummingbird. And when it's time to settle up the bill, Chillie's generosity is felt by all. Still, he doesn't do it for the praise or fame, but to spread a little kindness. That's his aim. For Chillie, the biggest tipper in the bar, believes in the power of making someone's day by far. So if you see him at a beachside pub, raise a glass to him and give him some love. For Chillie, the biggest tipper in the bar, is a shining example of how to be by far.
That's awesome. That brings a tear to my eye.
Well,
no, it doesn't.
I thought it was reflective of you. I mean, it just is,
I appreciate it.
I can see you sitting at the end of the bar, like where the guy in the Cheers thing. You always sit like in that corner where the Cheers, what was his name? Not Herb, but
Ralph. No.
Nope.
What the hell was his name? Cliff.
Cliff was the mailman.
Yeah.
Come on, for all the people that are listening, somebody knows who.
Oh, man. What was the...
his last name in real life starts with a W, but who was the beer drinker on Cheers, you guys? Come on.
Somebody should know that.
Yeah, beer.
It's a straight Mert.
No. You're really close. George Wendt was his name, but he was Norm.
Yeah.
His name was Norm.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, he never was actually drinking alcohol during all of that time.
Nope,
It was not.
never did.
Whatever it was a drink called near beer.
See, I would be a little different. I would have had the high test. And
But you
sit
couldn't.
there
No.
every
It was illegal then.
and get snorkered.
Yeah, but you couldn't. It was illegal. Any wine that you saw people drinking back in those days, any beer, any hard drinks, martinis were all not.
They were fake.
Now you can do whatever you want. It's why it's open season.
Yeah, it's wide open now.
Yeah, Emily.
So
says
anyway,
no.
but I would. I mean, I don't have a cocktail today, but I've on numerous occasions had a cocktail. I have my big ass. What's the name of this place? Coffee place. Starbucks.
Starburst.
A big ass Starbucks cup full of water.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the fourth time I've filled this up today.
But that's not a big ass cup. If you look at the picture, she's got no ass at all.
Yeah, well, but it's a big cup.
And you drink that full of
Water.
water. Good. Okay.
Plain, I go in and I put it in the little ice maker thingy on the Frigidator. I put a couple ice cubes in it and then change the button and it pees in the glass until it fills it up. I do that. I've done that. This is my fourth one today.
Wow,
I
you
had
drink.
a Diet Coke today.
Yeah. You consume good amounts of water. That's really healthy. and
Yeah,
good
yeah.
for you.
I've started doing a lot more of that until I get on the boats. Now, once I get on the boats, that goes out the window.
Then you just drink seawater.
Now, I drink a bourbon or a naked Diet Coke.
I don't know if I'm ever going to have a drink in my life again. And this is from somebody who loved bourbon and good beer and everything. And it's not, luckily I'm not in the addictive category. I'm addicted to a lot of things, but never to alcohol or drug. And I just love this stuff. But I now at 72 want to extend my life as long as I can. Quality of life.
Yeah.
And there's just scientific study after scientific study that just doesn't show any benefit. The concept was, well, a glass of red wine with dinner was good for you. They've thrown that out. They've debunked that. And I've just really working really hard to just not, if science says I don't need alcohol, for once I'm going to listen and actually try and do that because, and it's too bad because nobody liked really well-made drink. Like, for instance, I used to love rye and Coke way better than anything else in Coke. Rye has got a different grain taste that comes through.
Flavor. Yep.
And you mix for my taste buds, you mix that with the right fresh little 8-ounce bottle of Coca-Cola. Whoa, that was so good.
And see, I'm that way with particular brands of bourbon.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the taste, I can tell the difference in every brand of bourbon I sip. And
now, folks, you heard that right here, but in just like, what did we got? April, May, June, July. In 4 short months, Chillie and I are going to be on a ship together.
Yeah.
But even before we get on the ship, we're going to be in bars in Anchorage, Alaska. And we're going to have a flight of bourbon in front of him. And not going to screw up with the test or trick him in any way. We're going to get 4, 5 bourbons in front of him and give him all the time he wants. I mean, it's not like you got to drink it and take, oh, well, that's from the west bank of the North Shore of the. But I mean, and we're going to see if he can do this. It's going to be televised. You're going to be able to watch it right here on the show to see if and I respect him if he can. I'm telling you, Chillie, if you get 3 out of 5, I would be blown away. And that's not to be critical that you can't do it. I'm just saying is like, wow, what a tongue, what a taster you have if you can do that. That's really neat. Mm-hmm. That's neat. I can't wait.
Well, I like it.
We may take side bets if you want to get into the pool.
Some of it.
Yeah. Just go to chilliesbettingparlor.com.
But I also do a Diet Coke
with it.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to get
real honest to God bourbon people. They want to throw something at me. I mean, they drink it on the rocks. Yeah, no.
But they're also, it's those people that say red wine has to be with certain foods and white wine has to be with certain foods and whatever. And I mean, I can see some of the benefit of that from my experience. But on the other hand, if you like a Riesling with your pasta, then Riesling is a white German, relatively sweet wine. Then just go ahead and have it. Screw those people. I mean, just do what pleases you. Life is too short. So yeah.
All right,
what are you reading?
He's
he's tapping in on us here. Unwelcomed. Oh, have you blocked him already? Did you block him?
Well, I tried.
It says it was blocked.
Okay, then we want to delete comment as well. So anyway, yeah, that was somebody trying to horn in on the program.
Dude, we've worked years to get to this success where we are, to get the number of listeners. Do you think we're going to just give that up for you because you can come in and go, I do this? Not going to happen, dude. Not going to happen. Collectively, when did you start in broadcasting? What year?
My first job would have been in 69, I think.
Okay, so that's 30, 31.
68, 69. Yeah. Yeah. And then I did my TV show from September of Hi, come on in. My oxygen guy's here.
It's the oxygen man.
The oxygen man of 69.
Okay.
Until May of 71.
Well, but that's 54 years ago you started.
Yeah.
Okay, and I started in 77, which is like 44 years ago. So together we have over 100 years of broadcast experience.
Yeah.
We work at it a few more years, we might get discovered.
Yeah, it could be. That's a good possibility. It's discovered that's not all it's cracked up to be. Hang on, folks. I got to say one thing to this gentleman. The one that has the tip on it would not seed at all. I tried the double washer. It still leaked. So that one's bad. And the other three are empty there.
He never met a bourbon he didn't like, but he's met a lot of oxygen tanks that he just can't get along with. Yeah. So,
hey, that's really funny though, because I've been dealing with oxygen with these guys now for 2 years, and I've had 2 tanks that leaked.
Yeah. Hey.
That's not bad out of 2 years.
Now, answer me. This is a question for information, no joking or anything. But why get oxygen and put it in a tank under high pressure like a bell diver kind of guy, deliver it out to your place so you can breathe it? Why not have something that just is concentrating the oxygen right there in your house?
I do.
Okay.
That's what I use all the time. But if to move about, it has a 50-foot hose on it.
Oh, they don't make a
so
backpack
I
one?
have
Or
to pull no, it's a big electric unit. It's about it probably weighs 100 pounds.
Sure. I've seen those. Okay.
A sizable unit.
Okay.
And I use that in my room or when I'm going through the house.
Okay.
I had to sign. But when I go, like if I go into dinner, and pull the hose behind me, then Gene and Jean, who are 10 years and 14 years older than I am, they could trip on the hose.
Sure.
So, it's my normal procedure. Like when I go to eat dinner, I'll grab a tank. I've got one right back here. I use my tank today, which I've got the camulet right here in my lap, so that the hose would be out of the way when he brought the weight of the oxygen unit into my room. So my normal hose from my unit, which is on the other side of the room, is out of his way, so he didn't have to deal with that. And I have the tank behind me that I would use to be somewhat portable.
And do you
Do I
pay for
need
that, or
those
is that
now? No.
part of your Medicare?
Well, I mean, I pay like $17 a month for oxygen service. $17.45, I think it is.
Wonderful.
I'm trying to get these people to get me a new portable unit.
Okay.
Because that's what I really need is when I'm in an airplane or on a cruise ship, I can't travel with oxygen tanks. I can't carry those damn heavy units around. So I have a portable unit, a used portable unit that I bought 3 years ago that I have used and used. And you know how many cruises I've been on. I've used it on every cruise and on every plane that I've been on. And in the car, well, I have a different unit in the car now, but
well, can't you just hook it up to the exhaust pipe? You don't get a little pressure off of that?
Yeah, I could do that. But it's about worn out. I mean, it's starting to rattle. Well, I'm afraid that one of these days, maybe I'll be on a cruise in the middle of the night and all of a sudden that rattle turns into a and I got no oxygen. So I'm trying to get them to take the tanks away because I don't have to have them, and give me a new portable unit.
Yeah.
Without it coming out of my pocket like everything else in this world is done. And by the way, folks, those of you that might be listening that know that I have been seriously considering transitioning from a scooter to a power wheelchair, Medicare turned it down. So it's going to come out of my pocket because Medicare doesn't want you to have a life. They want you to stay in the house and rot. And they'll give you anything in the house. But if you're going to leave the house and have a life, they ain't going to do anything. Which sucks, I think. That's my rant for the day.
Well, and I agree.
Shouldn't be ranting after the lovely ode, the ode to the commode that John created for me. So I'll quit ranting. I am going to call my bookie, not my bookie, my investment banker, my whatever the hell you call it, guy.
Well, that's a similar word. That's a similar word.
So whatever he does, the guy that takes care of my money.
Oh, that one.
I'm going to call him and say, yeah, I need you to transfer $4,000. And he's going to go,
So wait a minute. Instead of doing that, why don't we go to a casino and, for instance, if you want to play roulette, there's a 39 one that it's going to come up red or black. And just wait till it comes up, like 4 reds in a row and then bet on black. And the odds will be that you will win and you will only invest $2,000. And then if you don't win, you just suffer with what you got for a little while longer and then you do it again. Because you were going to pay $4,000 anyway. So you got 2 chances.
I don't like the odds. Also, because I have this luck streak.
Oh.
One time I made a bet.
Yeah.
And lost and doubled up. And lost again. And doubled up. So that whenever I won, I would get all my money back.
Yeah, sure.
17 in a row I lost.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Do you know how?
Now, you figure up how much money that ended up being.
Well, you couldn't have done it. If you started with $1, do you know what that? $1 goes to $2. $2 goes to $4. $4 goes to $8. $8 goes to 16. That's only 5 times. Yeah. 32, 64, 128, 256, 512. Okay. Now to make it easy, what you're going to just make it 500 because 512 starts getting, that's 1024 and then, but we'll just go to hundreds. So then we're in the next 10 now. So we had 500. So now we're 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, 8,000, 16,000. We're at 10. We're at 16,000.
That's where I ended.
Oh, you ended 60. Seriously, you went after? So you were chasing $1 and you bet up to 16,000?
No, I was chasing more than that to start with.
Oh, ouch, 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 ouch. You know, may I point out, Las Vegas, Macau, Atlantic City are full of giant buildings. And in those buildings, they have buffets and restaurants and massage parlors and beautiful artworks. And, Chillie, those buildings were not built on winners.
Yeah. Well, this was with a bookie, too.
Even worse. You didn't even get a free prime rib out of the deal.
This was with a bookie that was, man, by the time I got to the amount that I was betting, this wasn't a neighborhood bookie. This was getting into
Sure. He handed it off. It's a hierarchy, and he handed it off up at the line.
Crooked noses and are of a certain Italian, European.
I know that there's
recipe.
folks that go on cruises because they gamble a certain amount of money and they get really, and that's fine. I have no criticism of that. But on the other hand, like I go to Las Vegas a lot because that's where one of my big clients is. We end up in some of the fancier hotels sometimes. And, I actually am stealing from each one of those hotels. Like the Bellagio Hotel.
Gamble.
Yeah, but the Bellagio Hotel, they have a, what do they call light fixture? Chandelier. That's 100 feet long, 25 feet wide, and it's all giant blown glass flowers. I have a picture of me laying down on the ground taking a picture of it. It's one of the most awesome things. It's as good as anything you see in Rome or Florence or whatever. And you know what? It cost me nothing.
Yeah.
They have a conservatory where they have plants, and they don't care what it costs to keep all those plants new and fresh. So it's tulips in the spring, and it's sunflowers in the fall, and it's Christmas colors at Christmas. Yeah, and you can walk through there, and you know what? I'm stealing from them every time.
Yeah.
That's my joy. My joy is stealing from people.
From casinos.
Sights and sounds. Because if you go to Rome, it's $16 to get into almost any place.
Yeah.
But in Vegas, it's free. So.
That's also for years. Years, I didn't gamble at all.
Okay.
Because I had that tendency to go lose control.
Okay.
Now,
God, if you'd
just
called me,
the last year and a half or so, I have started playing a little in the casinos to get casino offers.
Okay, but that's a controlled environment.
I do a lot.
Yep.
I don't do anything more than I can afford.
And you're never chasing your money that way.
And I don't chase the money.
Right.
If I set $300 for a cruise, that's what I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
And no more.
See, I tell people, everybody that and you should be in a little group, 5 or 8 people, and collectively you should buy both Powerball and Mega Millions every week. Doesn't matter if it's 40 million or 700 million. Somebody's going to win. But the thing is, so if everybody buys one ticket, you
don't spend a whole lot of money and you get a chance.
No, it's $2 a ticket. It's twice a week. So it's $102 to buy every ticket the whole year.
For the year.
And without trying to brag or anything like that, but, God has blessed me beyond measure. I waste $102 on lots of things that don't give me back anything. But out of that $102, if it wins, and it could win a lower, maybe it'll win a $10 million prize or a million or even 100,000. But I think of it as gone money. And I try now, and I try and be in the Powerball. I forget sometimes because but other than that, because my theory is that, if I live another 20 years, that much money isn't going to change my life. But if I could, if somebody's got to win. And if you did,
change.
if you did win, without joking, I mean, I'd buy you a new microphone, and I'd have your saltwater pool covered with a nice year-round building, so you go swimming every day you want. And I would upgrade you to a cabin with a view on the ships. I know you're an inside cabin guy, so I'd upgrade you to a room with a view. So
Yeah, well,
not a balcony though. I'm not going so far as to give you a balcony.
you're cheap ass.
What can I say? I answered somebody this morning on one of the cruise chat rooms about they're going to Alaska on a cruise, and they were told that if you don't have an aft balcony, you will not have a good experience. And I immediately responded by saying, "No, wait a minute. All the Alaska cruise ships, when they go to the places that are important along the way, they pivot the ship. Don't matter if you're on the left side, the right side, you're going to see everything.
You're going to see the same thing.
And we've had a aft balcony before, and I'm sorry, I'm not that impressed with it. It's great. You're at the end of the ship. You get to see the tailwater going and everything like that. But I would not, for my money, I would suggest that a customer doesn't spend any more on that aft balcony than any other balcony they can get, because I don't think it's worth the extra bucks. There's other things to spend your extra bucks on, like another cruise. Yeah. Just like our cruise. Is there still seats on the Alaska cruise? Is there still?
Yeah, we still got everything's still available. It
starts out in the $600 for a solo room on a ship that's going to go from Anchorage all the way down to Vancouver, stopping at all the high points, doing all the regular things. And it's Princess, which is kind of a step up from the bargain basement cruises I tend to take. Yeah. I went for a cabin with a picture window, and for like $725, that's and alone. That's not $725 and $725. $725. I have a beautiful big picture window, and I'm sorry, but Alaska year round, this is not a sit out on the balcony and get a suntan kind of place.
Yeah, no.
I'll go up in the balcony and look or the top and look, but otherwise my big picture window is going to do me fine. And it's a week-long cruise. It was 2015, Ronnie and I went on a Carnival cruise, and it was $500 per person, double occupancy. Yeah. Well, if you think of what things were worth in 2015 to 2023, I'm getting, my own room with a balcony, not a balcony, but a picture window for $725. It's like a gift. Yeah. And again, upgraded food, upgraded service, just an upgraded ship. Not that Carnival's bad in any way, but you
say that. Yeah.
You choose to go to Walmart, you get the Walmart experience, and that's fine. I have no. Chillie's a Carnival guy from way back. Well, I think you know the first clown, don't you? Didn't you meet the first clown on the Carnival ship?
Well, yeah, and for like 6 out of their first 12 years, the bar right outside the casino was Chillie's bar. For God's sakes,
spelled right, spelled correctly too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I've spent a lot of time on. I've never actually figured out how many I did before I started sailing other cruises, but I think it was like my first 32 cruises was Carnival, something like that. A bunch.
Must have been a shock when
I started. You couldn't. I mean, unless you were a multi-bazillionaire, which I wasn't. You could cruise on Carnival. You couldn't cruise on anything else.
Well, and that was the whole philosophy. The guy that created Carnival, right? Was he wanted to?
America was around, and but Cunard was around, but you had to pay through the nose.
And rules. There was tons of rules. That's what Carnival took away too, right? You didn't have to dress for dinner. You didn't have to eat at a particular moment. All these other kinds of things.
The fun ship concept.
Yeah.
So when I started off, they were more of a party cruise. They still are. Oh, that was fun when I was younger. And
all I know is my room was just as quiet on the party cruise as it is on any of the other ships. So I don't understand that. I wouldn't go on Carnival because it's a party all the time. What's what? Doesn't make sense to me.
No, I agree. And there's parties on every cruise. So is Carnival more? Yeah, maybe.
Well,
Now,
that's their attitude.
My
and
my biggest fault is with what they charge for drink packages.
everybody
They
it's,
make them so expensive,
it's ridiculous.
and then everybody drinks because they think they got to have 16 drinks a day to make the drink package pay for itself, and they get trashed.
And that's
Well,
like I was talking before. It's like, wow. The like on the Princess Cruise we're going to go on, which they have 2 levels of drink packages,
Yep.
but I think the big one's like $100 a day. So $725 for the room, $700 for the drink package. I'd rather go on 2 cruises.
yeah, yeah.
Plus, I have a wooden leg. I can fill it full of about a liter of.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, but
Whatever.
yeah, Chillie, is going to have, if he has this new riding lawnmower that he's going to be riding around on the ship on. I think there's a whole lot of places where we can figure out where to put bourbon in that thing. It's all aluminum tubing that's about this big around.
Fill that puppy up.
Wouldn't that be funny if we could
Have a straw.
get about it? Well, yeah, and you
Suck
could say
right out of my arm.
you could
pad.
buy the Diet Coke package and then just get your Coke and have a couple sips and
Fill it up. Yeah, we could do that. So, by the way, one of our cruise places to stop is Skagway.
Skagway.
Which Skagway, unfortunately, fortunately, that's where I'm going to be going up to Michelle Phillips' place with the dogs.
Oh, okay.
Dogs.
All right.
Well, a lot of the cruise ships are shortening the time in Skagway because they're afraid of a rock falling down on that dock again this year.
No.
So I'm going to have to wait and see how much time we're going to have in Skagway as to whether I have enough time to go to Michelle Phillips.
Can she come to you? Can she come down too?
No.
No? Okay.
Not with her Iditarod dogs?
Well, you only need a couple of them. You don't need the whole.
Well, no, that's not
team.
in the
Hola, Nikki. You're late to the party today, Nikki. We're gonna have to dock you. We're gonna have to dock you. Check mark a little bit there. Yeah.
Emily says, I saw a commercial for a portable unit last night, trying to remember the name. If it wasn't Inogen, it wasn't any good.
Oh, is there one company that's got the lock on?
Inogen is the best in the portable oxygen concentrators. All the other ones, at least that I've found on the market, are made in China.
Okay.
And many of our American banks will block purchases from those companies.
No.
I've had them block me on several things that I've ordered
because they just know that it's going to be an unhappy sale. You know that? Did you know that Amazon is now? That's the thing that when you are buying things on Amazon, they show you if the thing gets a lot more returns than other products like it. They show you that, hey, so this one, has higher return rates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. How's our time doing?
Well, it is about time for me to have to bid you bon voyage.
You got to drive in and get the pot store open.
Got to make it all happen. It's going to be great. It is more fun to have the store right now because, people, it's not like cold from their car to come in or whatever. They just walk in and we have a nice chat. As a matter of fact, and I'll tell you this, but don't pass it on. But, there's some people that I wish would leave a little. I mean, I just can't make small talk all day long. It's just not in my... I love all the people. I mean, don't misunderstand. But, 5 minutes or so and I'm kind of...
Yeah, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, and sometimes people are there 20, 30, 40 minutes, and it's like, I don't quite need to know all of that about your surgeries and about your grandchildren's surgeries and, the concert that you went to where everybody threw up. I just don't need quite all that. But anyway, I love it. I love retail. It's in my blood. I think I'm really good at it. But once in a while, it's like, I wish I had a button. Was it in one of those James Bond movies where they were sitting around the table and Blofeld or whatever didn't like the guy, so he pushed the button and poosh, gone.
Yeah, down in the tank with the sharks.
So what's coming up for you? Now, every day we're talking about
At 3:30 this afternoon, I have a meeting with Holland America.
Awesome.
I am going to, one way or another, do something with the June cruise to Alaska.
Good. And you're going to solve that.
It's
You're
either
going to
get moved,
Yep.
or if they won't move it and all they'll do is cancel me out and I lose the money, then I might just have to go in June. I just might have to bite the bullet, pay for another damn airline ticket.
I wish I could go with you. I just retail summer. I'm happy that I'm going to go to Alaska with you. So
yeah. So we'll see. I'll know later on this afternoon.
Do you tip your hand? Like, is that the right way, or is it just?
Yeah, no, just squash.
All
right,
see you
everybody.
next week, everybody. Have a great
Thanks
one.
for
Thank
being
you.
with us. We'll see you next Thursday on the Cruise Amigos Live. Good luck with the store today, John.
Thank you.
See you, everybody.